Welcome, everybody. We're back with another High Gluttony. I'm Becca.
And I'm Gretchen.
And today we are checking in on our pantry power-ups that had our preserved lemons, our lime pickle, and our homemade ginger beer. So we're going to talk you through the next steps for each of those and how we used them, and just give you a little bit of overview on some of the exciting things you can do with them.
Yes. So, we'll start with the preserved lemons because they're really easy.
The easiest one.
Easiest one. Because otherwise, I might get distracted halfway through. And so let's do this one. We'll get it in the bag of life. I mean, literally, we made the lemons. And if you listen to our Canna Quest episode before this episode by chance, because really there's no specific order you need to really listen to these in, you'll know that we've actually already used these and developed a mild obsession for using them in non-traditional fashions, and have
mostly cocktails.
Other non-traditional applications as well, like ice cream.
Ooh, that's gonna be fun.
That's gonna be a good one. I'm really excited. I actually don't let me get off course because I was about to go down a big ice tangent. We can get into that later if we remember.
Okay.
All right. So not only can you make an amazing gin and tonic with these preserved lemons, just really good. We had some tweak on the original recipe we found. So we put those in the blog post that goes with this episode. Oh, I kind of forgot what I was doing for a second there. I was like, wait, what episode are we doing? I was about to start talking about duck again.
Confusing.
You don't need to talk about duck. So,
some people might want us to never talk about duck again.
Possible. Unlikely. Sorry to warn you. Duck's going to come up again. At least once.
A couple times, probably.
Let's not lie. It will come up all the time. I love duck. It's like a favorite thing to eat. Even though they're so cute when they're alive, but they're so delicious.
Classic conundrum.
Yeah.
We're talking about lemons, right?
Yeah. Lemons. Anyhow. So basically make the lemons, let them sit at room temperature, someplace warm, but don't want direct sunlight on those. And then
for about a month, right?
Yeah. And if you want to shake the jar periodically, I do. I can't remember if that was advised or not in the actual recipe. I guess I need to go back and
I think it was.
Yeah.
Because I think we were feeding our ginger beer and shaking our lemons at the same time.
Right. Because I think the limes did not require, it didn't say anything about shaking, but I decided to shake mine anyway because if I shake this one but not this one, why?
Might feel left out. Yeah, can't have that.
And now I've totally lost my train of thought. My pineapple haze is failing me today.
Uh-oh, that's supposed to be the go-to.
I know.
I guess basically let it sit for a month. Then there's tons of ways you can use it. And one of the ways we did was to make this really exciting twist on a gin and tonic.
Yeah, because I meandered through several other subjects. So yeah, let's bring it back to what we're supposed to be talking about. All right. and there's a demo video for the preserved lemon cocktail where I am absolutely adorable, if I may say so myself.
Agreed.
Mm-hmm. Sorry. Now I'm going to talk about my drink because I put preserved lemon. So I'm drinking today. I'm having sparkling water with that preserved lemon in it, but I'm using the pulp that we removed when we did the cocktail. So I use the pulp instead of the skin. And then
how'd that turn out?
It's good. Tastes like salty lemon water with minor cinnamon and bay leaf. But I also used one of my herb Death Stars.
Ice cubes. Yeah.
Ice cubes. Sorry. That joke.
It's one of my herb bombs. Yeah.
Maybe for Christmas this year, I need to try making little Death Star like structures out of herbs and drying them. I like this idea.
That's a fun idea.
Okay.
Write it down.
Write it. That's a really good idea. This is the unofficial name of this podcast is Write It Down. Oh, Death Star, herb Death Stars. Dried herbs. Oh yeah, I'm going to.
That sounds fun.
Herb baby Yodas. Or even just herb Yodas.
Herb Yodas.
Yes, not pot, regular herbs. Pot,
Right. Basil Yoda. Yeah.
More likely like thyme, and oregano, maybe. Anyway, better go start throwing out some bunny poo out on the garden, get those herbs going. Anyway, back to
fertilizer.
That was a pretty solid detour over there.
Woo! Oh, we're back.
Back to the episode. I feel like we've covered the lemons. Yeah, I lost my train.
I think
all right.
We've covered the lemons.
Yes.
Yeah.
Done. So we really just ended up saying absolutely nothing of value, but I'm pretty sure we've covered it, really proven our point. All right. So let's move on to the lime.
Onto the lime pickle. So with the lime pickle, this was pretty straightforward. We quartered the limes, salted them, put them in the jars, and then you leave them for 2 weeks, right? And then you add the additional spices.
Right. So yeah. So
right. And then you wait 1 more week, and then it's ready to go.
Ready to go. Or, as is happening right now, mine are just continuing to sit in my pantry and get better and better, hopefully. Because they're just really...
Yeah, same with mine, but I haven't come back to them in a while. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess I should be trying to use, I wonder how they would be in sparkling water, although they're a little bit spicier, or as part of
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I have my cocktail.
Well, we don't, what?
Oh, I said, I think I have my cocktail for the evening. I'm going to try the gin, preserved lime.
Salty gin and tonic.
I don't know how that'll be. I'll have to smell them and decide later.
We felt like we didn't really do enough justice to the recipe and some of the steps that were required when we were recording this part about the lime. So we just wanted to go into a little bit more detail about some of the aspects of that. Gretchen, do you want to talk us through, I think it was heating up the mustard oil,
right,
adding the seeds,
right,
and then pouring that hot oil back into the limes.
I believe you're correct, but you know what I'm going to do is go back and look before I say anything.
Please double check me.
Well, I was like, oh, I can answer this question. I don't have to.
Right, we do have the answer. Well, I'll just keep talking a little bit while you're looking that up. So I found this quote online from Bon Appetit that suggested a couple fun ways to use a lime pickle. And they said they fold it into mayo for sandwiches, serve it with braised meats, add it to cooked beans, or sometimes just eat it with a spoon. Then they said, it gives a kick to sauteed kale. And I imagine you can almost substitute any leafy green with that.
I love that idea. I might actually like
Doesn't that sound good?
Yeah. Now, I didn't buy kale at the farmer's market. Ooh, but I did buy, I'm going to show this to you because it's very exciting.
Okay, got it. I'll keep talking. Maybe. There was something I was going to say and I totally forgot. Oh, which was that I'm a big fan of making spinach with jalapeno juice, like sauteed spinach with jalapeno.
I love that idea.
It's really good. What am I looking at?
This is the red dragon Napa cabbage. I was going to say, I don't feel like the Zoom video does it justice. I will have to take some nice pictures of this because it's absolutely beautiful.
Take some pictures because I imagine it's brighter than it looks here.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. Literally, I saw it out of the corner of my eye and went, what's that?
I have to have that.
Must be mine. I have no plans for it, but it must come home. So
you'll find something.
Well, now I found something. It sounds like, that sounds amazing. Oh, I was looking up the spices that went into this and the process and making sure we had this right.
So in addition to some of those options suggested by Bon Appetit, Gretchen and I did make chickpea pancakes with paneer and lime pickle. We're not totally sure if that episode is going to see the light of day, but it did work really well for that recipe.
It was delicious. God, I hope I took pictures of that. Mostly because I'm like, dear Lord, I have no pictures of anything. Getting distracted. Anyway, okay, here we go. Let's run through the process loose here. So you got your 2 dozen medium to large limes, you quarter them, mix them with white sea salt, black rock salt, if you can find it. Otherwise, we used pink Himalayan, and that was okay. Well, I did actually get the black rock salt because really good.
Gretchen does that. Yeah.
I like these things. And then I have them for a really long time. All right. So we've quartered those, put it in the jar with the salt, and then you let them sit for 2 weeks. Now, what we go over in the snippet we'll include in this episode is heating up the mustard oil, because mustard oil is actually hard to find in the US, because if you eat it when it's raw, it apparently is slightly toxic. It's actually more commonly used for like cosmetic purposes in the US.
Or essential oils too, right? You can get it for, as an essential oil.
Yeah. But yeah, you have to heat it up to make it okay to eat. And so
it's toxic otherwise, right?
Yes, it's toxic otherwise. So you heat that to smoking, because it does have a fairly high smoke. Yeah, I know. There's a cat in my lap. I'm sorry. It's the tail distracting. Ginger.
Nope, I love it. Okay, so mustard oil is heating up, getting to that smoking point to remove the toxicity.
Yep. And then you're adding whole mustard seeds, and then you're adding the asafoetida and turning off the fire. Like, we did look that up, right? I'm saying that somewhat correctly.
Asafoetida, I think so.
We did talk about it for quite.
Let us know if we're saying it wrong.
So if I'm still,
we learned a lot about that spice.
Yeah, please email us at hightogluttony@hightogluttony.com with any questions, because I went there for the first time today.
Or answers.
Or answers. Yes, we like answers too. We're not getting good for email yet. So email us.
One day. Send us an email.
We probably won't read it. I don't read my personal email. We're going to have to get a person for that.
We'll never get to it. But please send it to us.
I promise. If you start sending me...
You're busy, but that's okay.
I will get to that. All right.
Yeah, we'll return to emails, yeah.
Yeah, maybe not quickly, but we will return them. So, all right. So we've got cooking oil, mustard seeds, asafoetida, turn off the fire. Then you're pouring this over your limes and mix well. Now, I'm noticing in the pictures here, so this is a recipe from the Spruce Eats, and this is linked in the blog post that's about this episode and then the main episode. But I did notice that they really didn't pack their jars at all. Like, they left them, they were like 3/4 full. But that would have been a really good thing to notice, instead of like smashing them all into one jar like I did. So there was no room to coat them evenly / that doesn't really look like 24 lemons either. So, okay. Anyway.
That looked like 6 or something. It was not as many in the picture.
So you're pouring a hot oil over that, and then let it age for at least another week, and then you can use it. So we'll also put some pictures up of the chickpea pancakes with paneer and lime pickle that we made with the lime pickle. I guess I don't really need that part. Any closing comments on your pickles? Lime pickles?
No, it's fun. Try it out. I guess in hindsight, I think I would say it's probably too late now, but don't make the whole recipe. Like you said, like, don't make 12 limes right away. Make a smaller amount and make sure all the stuff is evenly distributed. Yeah. But it might be too late to give that advice out, since we already put the first episode out.
Well, if we did, we did.
But otherwise, I think that wraps up the lime pickle piece.
Yeah.
And so the next thing we talk about is bottling the ginger beer and then making a cocktail with the homemade ginger beer.
Which I thought it was funny that we used gin for that episode too. I was like, oh, more gin. We like gin.
I love gin, but we're on a gin kick.
I know, I'll be on a bourbon kick in no time, and it's going to be cold here soon.
Yeah.
So we're moving on to ginger beer.
Bottling the ginger beer is the next step.
I think the most important part is to use plastic bottles. No, you need to boil water in advance to remove any problematic elements that might be in there, as in bacteria and other items.
And you're saying boil water, and you mean water for the simple syrup that's added?
Right. Yeah. Because neither of us realized that we needed to do that.
The next steps are that we put it in plastic bottles, like Gretchen said, and then you are adding simple syrup and the plant that you create over the last week or so of adding ginger and sugar to the original mix, right?
Correct. I mean, yeah, sort of simple syrup, but it's not necessarily like it's a very dilute simple syrup, basically. But same premise. And use your bottle to like measure. Basically, use your bottle to find out how much water you'll need. So fill your bottle 2/3 of the way up, because then you have to make sure that there's a little bit of room for the plant. And leaving a little extra space isn't going to hurt you in this situation because you're going to have gases building up in that bottle. So filling it up probably not quite as much is maybe a better way to go. It'll at least make it a lot longer before you'd have to keep taking the pressure off the bottles. What else?
Right. So you boil water, make this version of a simple syrup, put that into your plastic bottles along with the plant. And then for the next 1 to 2 weeks, I think, you have to daily release that buildup of carbonation in those bottles.
I think it's a week to 10 days was the actual time frame on that.
A week to 10 days. Okay. So pretty easy though. In terms of the ginger beer all in, the hardest part is feeding it daily. Yeah. Gretchen gives us that trick of mixing up your sugar and your ginger in advance, which helps a lot. And that's the next step for the ginger beer.
Yeah. I think didn't I decide, I can't remember now, maybe we covered this later, that I thought that I would maybe put quite enough sugar in the first batch, that it was there wasn't enough sweetness to mine. So I needed to add more sugar. I don't know. But I did think that.
I don't remember that.
I think I ended up putting in at least 1.5 cups of sugar to my liquid, which was 4.5 bottles. Math is still really hard.
Always. You used 1.5 plastic bottles and I used 16-ounce bottles. And it is important to be mindful of the size that you use, because you do have to drink this ginger beer within 24 hours once you've fully opened the bottle. So keep that in mind. If you're making a gallon, just be prepared to drink a gallon of ginger beer within 24 hours.
And I thought making that much ginger beer.
Sounds kind of fun.
Next time I buy a handle of vodka, I might at least make that much. Get really fucked up one day.
Right? Ginger beer party.
Ginger beer. Yeah, I haven't made any in a little bit. I was thinking today, I should start some. And I was like, I think you have a lot of things you're trying to do today. Don't know that ginger.
Right. I really want to get some going again too, because I still have all that yeast. I just need to get a bunch of ginger.
And I bought some ginger and it's still pretty good. So I could at least get through most of this week. But
yeah,
I should do that before my ginger dries out. All right.
So that's bottling.
Bottling. Yeah. Overall, very pleasing ginger beer. Very nice to be able to customize it yourself. Don't ever add dried ginger to ginger beer.
Always use fresh ginger.
Use fresh ginger. Let me tell you, it's very, very spicy when you do that. Almost unpleasant, though.
And then the last thing we do is make another cocktail with the ginger beer.
I forgot there was one more step to this. So we made
just a quick one.
Fizz. A ginger fizz. Which is a gin fizz with ginger beer. And it had cilantro in it. So that was really good. And we did pair that with some really excellent.
That was really good.
Yeah. I mean, like, I made a half a batch.
Which again, we hope might see the light of day.
I think we'll get to it eventually. It just might be a little bit. We've decided we want to progress forward and that it's fine if we have a little back library of stuff to throw out there every once in a while.
Right.
So yeah, really good.
But yeah, the ginger fizz was delicious. It's easy. It's fun. It's a nice way to spruce up a gin fizz and also use your own homemade ginger beer.
And put cilantro in something that is unexpected. And well, I guess it depends on how you feel about cilantro, because we know that is one of those very divisive herbs. Like, people are quite opinionated on it. So
yeah,
if you do not like cilantro.
It is right. I did think it was rare to see it in a drink form. I don't usually see cilantro added to a cocktail. Lots of rosemary or thyme or even basil sometimes, but I haven't seen a lot of cilantro.
I think that was sort of why we picked it too, though. It was like, that's not a traditional use of cilantro. I think that contributes.
And we were using cilantro with the burgers, I think.
I assume that's true because I feel the same way, but I am not. I don't remember.
Wait, who knows? We didn't write it down, so we'll never know.
Well, I don't know. It could be written down somewhere. We just have to go back and find it. So maybe we've been remembering to write more shit down than we thought. Just really annoying when you remember the things that we didn't write down that we should have written down.
We write down a bunch of stuff that I'm like, what? Who cares about this? We'll figure it out. We're going to figure it out.
Yeah, it will all be figured out.
So mostly we just wanted to check back in on all of these since the last time we talked about them, there were a few additional steps for each one. And so we hope you enjoy them. There are tons of options to use for all of these. And again, Gretchen's going to post all of this on our website, which is highgluttony.com. And we are always sharing tips and tricks videos on YouTube, and our Instagram has a lot of fun photos of the food that we make. So make sure you check out all of those places.
Yep. My brain just totally went blank. Yeah. Oh, well, the recipes are already, yeah. Oh, that's right. I was just gonna, oh my God, I am my shit today. I forgot. I was like, oh my God, blog post. And I was like, no, wait a minute. We were just going to use the other blog post. I'm like, this all the information is together.
Yeah, easy to find on the website. Highgluttony.com.
Hi, it's highgluttony.com.
If you haven't figured it out yet, that's the biggest part of this. Yeah. So enjoy.
I think you said the stuff about subscribing and stuff, right?
I did say them. Yeah. Well, I'm sure with all of that, we've got enough stuff. I think we're getting better at these.
I think so.
Okay. We're finishing the lime pickles. We've got mustard oil heating. We're about to add mustard seeds and asafoetida, and we've already measured out mustard powder, fennel, chili, and turmeric, right?
Your spice powder mix here.
Uh-huh.
So you're adding it to your liquid that you're draining out of your pickle,
exactly,
lime pickle. And I'm going to, because I'd already done this, I'm just going to sprinkle it over.
Okay.
And then I'm going to stir it together.
Okay. I didn't have enough chili powder, so I mixed it with this pepper spice blend that we have, that Basque red chili.
Okay.
So,
that should work.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how that is going to go.
So we're just bastardizing this recipe all over the place.
Completely.
Because I put in anise seeds instead of fennel. You added Spanish pepper.
Yes, this is like a real surprise to everybody.
Man, I wish I had thought of that pouring the liquid out thing first instead of doing it the way I'm doing it. Because now I'm like, I gotta get this back in this jar.
Yeah, well, yeah. So Gretchen had recommended to me, because my limes were not that full 3-quart mason jar, and there was a fair amount of liquid at the bottom. And so Gretchen recommended that I pour the liquid out and add the dry herbs, spices to that, and then pour that back in with the hot oil and mustard seeds. So I'm super excited. I'm going to mix this up right now, and it is such a beautiful color. Oh my God, that turmeric.
Yeah, basically completely different from what I made before.
Oh my gosh, this is fun. What did you do before then?
Remember when we first made this, I looked up a different, because I was like, this is not at all how I made it the first time.
Yeah.
So I had to look up. And so I'd done more of a quick pickle kind of thing. So I mean, I'm guessing maybe there are multiple methods to this, but this to me would be slightly more authentic, I think.
Got it. And so, I'm sorry, I don't know if we talked about this.
Mustard oil. Sorry, I was like, something smells fucking weird over here.
Mustard oil. Well, so let me know when you're about to add your seeds, because I haven't put my oil on yet, because I don't want it to go crazy and then.
Oh, okay. We have to make sure that the oil is smoking, because otherwise it can be toxic.
So it does need to be hot.
Yeah, it has to be hot.
Okay.
Mine's getting there. So I've got to what I would call the shimmering stage.
Oh, okay. So I guess I'll just add mine.
Yeah, you can go ahead and add yours to your pan. Because did you put it on heat, or are you just going with what?
I did put it on like a low heat, just so.
Okay. I think that's fine.
I didn't lose it. Yeah. Okay, great.
No, that was good instincts on that.
Thank you.
I'm really regretting taking these out of this jar and having to put them back in. This is not fun. I don't like it.
So as opposed to the way I did it, you took all your pickles out, all your lime pickle, all your limes, put them in a bowl, and now you're mixing that liquid or
like I mixed
the
it, yeah,
dry
everything
spices
together, the dry spices with everything. Your way is much smarter.
And I didn't really, I don't know why I had so much more liquid than you did, but I also didn't pack mine in as tightly as you did.
Yeah.
But I've been curious because, so it says at this point, they're supposed to look like a pale brown color.
Yeah.
And
They're still
mine,
kind of green.
exactly. So I was wondering, because I wonder if like some of the stuff was more concentrated at the bottom because there was a lot of more liquid at the bottom.
Yeah.
So I'm curious about how the balance will be with this.
And I think maybe some of that brown might come from having that black salt.
Oh, which I didn't have.
Which you didn't have. So you had much lighter colored salt.
Yes. Got it. That makes sense. All right. So you're pouring that all back in. So I'll do that too.
Yeah. I think my oil is going to be hot enough in a minute. Mine's smoking. So
Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and put my teaspoon.
Did you taste that dry spice mix?
No.
It's
you?
delicious. Yeah.
Is it?
Well, because mine was in liquid, so I
just
got
now.
to just like take a sip of it.
So, yeah.
It's so good.
I've added my mustard seeds.
Oh, I can hear the crackling. Mine's not smoking yet.
Okay. And I think I'm only supposed to wait until it's done sputtering, and then I turn it off. And then I'm going to add the asafoetida. Pour hot oil over everything. Okay.
Okay.
Interesting.
That kind of scares me. Are you going to do it like over the sink or something?
No, I'm going to do it on my cutting board here.
Oh, okay.
It should have cooled off just enough at this point to not be totally frightening, but I make no promises.
Gotcha. This still isn't smoking. It does smell interesting. It's like not a super pleasant smell.
Yeah, no. That's why I was like, oh dear, what is that smell?
What's happening when you're pouring it in? Is that sizzling?
Oh, it's sizzling, yeah.
And you're using glass jars.
Yeah, this might be a stupid idea. Although I'm trying not to pour it directly on the glass.
Yeah, right.
So this asafoetida.
Tell me a little bit about this spice. It smells amazing.
It's so interesting. Like the way it smells is really fascinating to me. Yeah. So this is the first time I've ever used it. I had not heard of this before.
Mm-hmm.
It is a relative of fennel. So it does have like almost a fennel-y kind of thing to it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's definitely more like an onion to me than fennel. But it had like, I don't know, it smells different to me every time I smell it. So.
I get a lot of celery when I smell it.
I think celery is also related to
fennel and anise.
Yeah.
Which are in the carrot family.
Yes.
She already told me that earlier. I didn't know that. Anyway.
You're not just going to be like, I totally knew that.
And guess what else I know? It's in the carrot family. No, I had no idea. I was like, this must be celery.
Yeah. So, okay. So, yes. Ajwan, which is another Indian spice, I believe, but I'm not sure which region of India. Anise, asafoetida, caraway, celery seed, coriander, cumin, black cumin, dill seed, and fennel are all in the carrot family, which just blows my mind. Just
dill seed, not dill? That's dill?
The table actually just says spices of the carrot family. So I assume that because it says it's in the carrot family, that yes, the entirety of the plant is related to carrots.
Cool.
But yeah, so like I had not realized that at all. I thought that was pretty cool. I was like, I had no idea.
I'm so excited to use it. I think it just smells phenomenal. And my mustard is smoking. So I'm going to put in. Yeah. Exciting times are happening. Seeds go in. They sputter. When done, add the asafoetida. So what are we looking for when done? What exactly?
I think when it stops sputtering is what it means when done. Yeah, because I was a bit like, that's a bit vague.
Yeah. Oh, popcorn. Done. Okay. Add the asafoetida. Wow. Then turn off from heat. This is fun. I got oil everywhere.
Oh no.
I mean, it's fine.
Yeah, there is some mess to be expected.
Yeah.
So I didn't end up using all of my oil just yet because I want to see if it settles.
Okay. I'm a little behind you at this point.
Yeah, you're slightly.
Okay, pop quiz. I can't find the cork top for my gin. What should I use to seal it? I put it in the freezer, which I don't have to do, but I usually keep my gin in the freezer. So what should I use, Greg?
Is it on its side?
No, it's up. It's vertical.
Upright? I mean, you could just take a
Straight
little
wrap.
plastic wrap and put a little rubber band around it and call it good until I'm sure you'll find your cork at some point. So
Yeah, maybe. I can't imagine I threw it away, but also I don't understand where the fuck it went. So
well, I'm very familiar with this entire scenario. So
yeah, this just happened to you.
This happens to me all the time.
Powder.
So
all the time. Yeah.
all the time.
Okay. Thanks. You're the best.
I like that was your pop quiz. That wasn't even a hard pop quiz.
Pop quiz.
My other suggestion was going to be if you have an empty bottle somewhere nearby that you haven't thrown out yet.
Oh,
if it has a similar
in there.
closure, use that. Or do what I do and just keep a bunch of corks around.
That's a good idea.
I don't have enough right now though because I want to do a hanging strawberry planter out of my front porch.
Oh, fun.
I was wearing some jeans earlier and I was like, oh, I don't know that I can get these jeans back on until I stop eating as much cake as I've been eating over the last few weeks. So
You've been celebrating a birthday.
yeah, which I don't dick around on that. So
No, that's when you're supposed to eat too much cake.
yeah, it's the only appropriate time for that. So just boiled my water. Where's your water at?
It's almost boiled.
Okay.
It's pretty close. Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to just start measuring sugar into mine and tasting it. And I'll kind of let you know what I think.
Okay. How much water did you do? Because, okay, so the instructions don't say to even do this part. It just says to add sugar to water.
Okay. So I think okay, hold on a second. Because I was under the impression that it didn't say to boil it.
Right.
But it does. Step 4. So it says, think ahead of how many bottles of ginger beer you make sure you use plastic soda bottles. Glass could explode from carbonation.
Got it.
Estimate how much. Okay. So I actually filled my bottle up to 3/4 of the way full and then dumped it into a pot. That's what I did. That's why I was like, oh, right. Where's my bottle? Because I can tell you how many ounces my bottle is. And then that'll give you, I don't know what kind of bottle you're using.
Mine, well, it's a Coca-Cola bottle, but I think it was 16.9.
So that was a 16-ounce bottle. Mine is a quart bottle, which I really should have thought about.
Because you'll have to drink it all pretty soon after you open it.
Yeah, but I mean, it should be low enough alcohol that will be my alcohol for that day. Because it should only be like maybe 4% total.
Okay.
Like I think it says at the level of low beer. So I think the lowest
that
beer
sounds
is
right.
4%.
Yeah.
No, I was just meaning because I wasn't really thinking about how much starter, but like since it's not very specific about what size bottle to use. So you'll want, because it's a 16-ounce bottle, like
I have 3 of them too.
You have 3. So you'll want 12 ounces of water per bottle.
Okay. And so since it's already boiling, the best way to measure this now is
I was gonna say if you have a Pyrex, is that a 2 cup or a 4 cup?
2. How many?
I think I'm gonna have to buy
12 ounces per
bottle. Yeah.
Okay, I know what I'll do.
Because I think you could also eyeball it a bit.
Yeah.
Probably going up with a higher amount. So mine are quart bottles. They're slightly more than a quart. Fuck. Math is hard when you're high.
Math is hard. Also, I do need to go do that.
Okay. I was like,
but
let's do this.
Yeah.
Because I figure it's good to let the water cool down a little bit. That's why I was like, oh, I'm going to put this on because it's good. If it's too hot when we put it in the bottle, that bottle is just going to melt.
Yeah.
So
backfire. Okay.
Yeah. Still haven't packed my bowl. So.
Okay, great. The water that's boiling, should I just leave it boiling?
No, turn it off. You can turn it off once it's boiled because you just want to kill anything that's in it. So once it's boiling, it just boiled to purify. So
I
it
see.
it didn't say sterilize. I assume if you had to be real finicky about it, they would have given us amount and a time
Sure.
on that. So
Okay.
So I just realized that my water was still had heat under it. I had meant to turn it off, and I just turned it all the way down.
Oh no.
I was gonna pour it into the glass bowl, but I won't do that because it's not clean. Things are not going according to plan right now.
Well, that's the good thing about not really having a plan. You're kind of always on track.
I'll use this bowl, this cleaner bowl. So I had this like amazing epiphany either last night or this morning. It's hard to tell. They're kind of running into each other.
Yeah.
With all the cake and the drinking and the smoking and
And
more
the general
cake.
life we're in right now.
And general life, yeah.
Time not meaning anything.
Time is meaningless.
Okay,
Anyway,
so you had this,
I had about using the toasted sugar in the ginger beer.
Okay, let's hear it.
I'm very sad that I don't have any toasted sugar right now.
Oh,
except for
yeah.
ginger beer. Because I was like,
no.
that's a good idea. So I'm jealous of the fact that you still have it.
I can't believe, I swear, I said this yesterday too, but I swear it like doubled when I made it. Like I still don't understand. It's like magic sugar.
Magic sugar. It is magic. I mean, it's real magic.
Yeah. Okay, so should we add sugar?
Yes.
Hot water?
I'm going to start at a cup.
Start at a cup,
stir
okay.
it. Yeah, stir it. And then, but as the recipe points out, the more sugar you put in it now, theoretically, the more alcohol you're going to get out of it.
Okay, load it up.
It depends. And also like what level of sweetness you're looking for. So, and it does say to do it to your own taste. I guess you would have you would have basically the same amount of water as I would, because you're doing, if I'm doing math right, maybe a little less.
I have about a little bit more than 36 ounces of water. I did a little more than I probably should have. It's a beautiful color with the toasted sugar.
Well, and that's the other thing I was thinking, was that it would be really, the color, it would amp up the color, you know?
Yeah, it looks like a really light, like bourbon or something. It's really pretty.
I might go for I'm going to put another half cup in, and then I'm going to decide if I want to continue from there. Kind of like the level of sweetness where it's at.
Yeah, mine is a little sweet. So you said another half cup.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I might like it at this level.
Okay.
Because it does say that we can add, you can always add sugar later to it.
If it's not too sweet enough.
Right.
Okay.
It's pretty easy to add more sugar.
But later on, adding sugar is just for sweetness. It doesn't have anything to do with the alcohol level.
Ferment. Right.
Got
Correct.
it.
Okay. So then
I'm going to put just a teeny bit more. Okay. I'm good.
Okay. So we're going to put the plant in the bottles first.
Okay. So we have to strain it.
Yeah.
I got cheesecloth.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah.
I was wondering about that today too, but I was like, we did talk about it. So I was like, I hope she got some.
Yeah. On it. Although I did forget to write it on my list, and it wasn't until I was walking through the store, like past the aisle, that I was like, shit, cheesecloth. Oh my God.
But at least you were right there and you remembered. Like,
yeah.
That's pretty good.
I was in a zone.
All right. So, yes. Okay. I got to go over here and strain things.
Okay. I'm just going to read this out loud so I can kind of process it. So
go for it.
Using a cheesecloth, strain the plant out into a large measuring bowl or cup or bowl. Next, use a funnel to add the sweetened water to the bottles. I think that these instructions are nice, but also a little bit like miss some steps.
Like it doesn't actually say to put how much plant to put in the bottle.
Well, yeah, or like it doesn't say well, I guess it does say it, but anyway, I don't know. I feel like maybe it's because so much of it is like you make your own taste with it, but for someone doing it for the first time, it's hard to know, like you said, like how much plant are we supposed to put in?
Well, and I think somewhere along the line is like you could add more if you want to. I'm thinking what I'm going to do is start with about 3/4 of a cup of plant in each bottle.
So you're straining out the liquid and keeping all the stuff in the strainer, and then that stuff goes into the bottle.
No.
Or the other way around.
Other way around. You're going to put the liquid.
So the plant is actually the liquid.
The
Not
liquid, yes. The
Okay.
plant is the liquid.
Because I've been thinking of it as like SCOBY,
Yeah.
you know, that kind of thing.
No, basically you have to dissolve the yeast in the water.
Okay.
And I have a fair amount of liquid still in my jar. So I am going to just like continue forward with having some sort of plant, and then like once a week being able to bottle a bottle or something like that.
Okay.
I almost went and tried to do this without a funnel. That would have been disaster.
Terrifying. God, this smells so good.
Yeah, I love how it smells.
Okay, and sorry. And so you said you're doing like how much of the?
So for mine, I'm doing 3/4 of a cup. I think for yours, since your bottles are a little smaller, I would do half cup and see.
Half cup.
I mean, I guess unless it's just, I have to get a keyboard cover for my computer.
I know. I got the other day. I think maybe it was gnocchi, but I got like flour all over the keyboard. I was like, oh, gross.
Oh, no, it says using a funnel, add a cup of the plant liquid to each clean dry soda bottle. But I think, see, but this is pretty annoying because they don't tell you what size soda bottles to use.
Right. But then they're specific about the plant.
How much plant? Yeah. So like, what am I going to do?
I mean, I don't have too much liquid left. Maybe I'll just use it all because I'm not going to keep it for anything else.
You do have, you have much more limited storage space than I do.
My sugar water's still kind of warm.
Yeah, mine too.
Okay, so I'm doing just about a cup then in all of mine.
Okay, because I've also been adding a little bit of liquid to mine over the week.
Oh,
But I do like my idea of making basically a mix. Like once a week and just adding it in slow.
Yeah. And just to clarify for the people listening, you mean a mix of the ginger and the sugar. Like,
right. Yes.
Like grating up the ginger and combining it with the sugar in advance.
You know what I feel really dumb about right this second? Because I hadn't thought about this.
What?
Is that I had cheesecloth attached to the top of my jar. I literally could have just poured the liquid out to the cheesecloth. But instead, I took the cheesecloth off and poured it through a completely separate piece of cheesecloth.
Oh my
God. Don't make that mistake, okay? Just
yeah, got it.
Out there. Don't do that.
How clever of you to put the cheesecloth on first, though.
I'm not always a genius on the first try.
That's okay. Last night when we were finishing up the episode and I was starting to make dinner, I forgot that I already had some salmon in the fridge.
Oh, no.
So I took 2 new pieces out of the freezer and defrosted those and had those. And then when we were putting leftovers away, I was like, fuck, I forgot.
So now you get to have salmon tonight too?
Yeah. Well, we're going to do pizza. So we were supposed to have it for lunch. But wait, so are you adding your sugar water now?
Yes.
Okay.
Because mine's actually just a bit, maybe a little bit more than a normal fill level on one of those bottles like you would see. Just to give the gas a little bit more space.
Got it.
So basically at some point it'll have produced enough carbon dioxide. Dioxide.
Okay.
That it'll fill up the space in the top of the bottle.
I see.
And in order to keep the bottle from exploding, we'll have to like release a little bit of the gas.
The air.
Yeah.
So it's another like babysitting kind of job, huh?
A little bit, yeah. But it said it should take a couple of days. I'm actually gonna squeeze in the sides of mine
right now.
So that it'll push the bottle out. Yeah. I'm gonna have to look into growing my own ginger. I know it's possible. I just haven't been able to do it, and I would like to.
Check out this color of the.
Oh God, that's so beautiful.
So pretty. Oh my gosh.
So jealous right now.
I know. I wish you could have it too.
All right. I've got my plant over here. So I will order a bag of sugar, post it up tomorrow, and then there was more of a thought. Oh, and then make another batch later.
Yeah.
Where I was going.
Because you're keeping your plant going.
I keep my plant going because I still have some. And I don't believe in wasting anything. So
yeah, I love it.
So unfortunately tonight I'll only be able to feed it sugar unless I just mash up what ginger I have left.
You said your ginger's getting a little dry.
Yeah. Maybe I just take some of this sugar water, put a little more water into it, toss the ginger in there to soften it up a little bit.
Oh, this is so fun. I've never made anything like this before.
I mean, I've never made anything like this before on purpose.
Right? Sure.
I've definitely made it by accident. Maybe I'll just put some dehydrated ginger in there and see what kind of flavors that'll give me too.
Ooh, that could be fun.
All right. Did I chuck my ginger already? What the fuck? Oh, nope. I just moved it over here. Okay.
I just tasted some of the plant. Is that okay?
Yeah.
It's really good.
I mean, the yeast might give you a little trouble, but give you a little bit of a bubbly tummy for a minute.
Yeah.
Until your stomach acids kill it.
So I don't need to save any of this stuff, right? We don't add any of the sugar water or simple syrup. I mean,
yeah, you could save it just in case at the end you want to adjust the sweetness.
Oh,
you know, especially because we'll be trying it next week. So that's not too long of a commitment to have with keeping that.
Yeah, but I don't need the plant.
No.
Okay. All right.
Down this.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you for your service.
You know, I occasionally think about the arrogance of the fact that we're doing this, like basically doing like kind of a recipe review podcast, being like, but these people should have tested these recipes. And like, I do trust most places, like most good places I source my stuff from, that they test them. But like, it makes me feel a little bad because I'm like, I'm just basically saying, screw your science. I'm going ahead with my own science.
Totally. I know. But that's like part of cooking. You have to just go with what you want to do, right? So yeah, it's very arrogant. Like, who are we? Well, you, but who am I?
Yeah. You're just along for the ride here.
Exactly.
I'm the one that's providing the culinary guidance.
Write things down.
Yeah, write things down because, by the way, you're a stoner and you forget a lot of shit.
It's hard to keep track. Even today, we got our cocktails mixed up.
Yep. I think I was just like, yeah, we're going to do this. And but I do remember, like, we also were like, it's too much work to do that with all the watermelon and not pineapple, watermelon. Although I think it would be good with pineapple. Yeah, so instead we're doing, what is that, a gin fizz is what it's
Something
called?
like that. Although I thought fizz usually meant egg, but
not always. I think
not always.
Just sparkling.
Gotcha.
Yeah. They call it a ginger fizz.
Oh, ginger.
I think a gin fizz usually has like egg white in it.
Got it. We're making a ginger fizz because we're finally using our ginger beer. Yay! Oh my gosh. This is a big day.
I am like incredibly excited. So that second batch that I decided to bottle and then restart a whole new starter, that one is fermenting much faster. So I don't know if because I actually dumped the whole thing out and like the yeast went into it, that one is like fermenting quicker. I mean, the other one fermented pretty quickly too, because like within not even 24 hours, those bottles were like almost rock hard.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But,
do you think maybe one of the differences too, I think last time you had said your ginger wasn't as fresh towards the end. Do you think maybe that is one of the differences in this time? I
don't know because my new starter is also much more bubbly and shows more signs of fermentation faster. Like, and I don't know if that's just because I haven't been using my air conditioning and it's been kind of, I mean, it hasn't been too hot here. That's why I'm not using the air conditioning, but it just seems better. So I don't know. And then making the ginger paste with the sugar makes it a lot easier to feed that fucker every day.
Yeah, right? Yeah, we have been babysitting these things for 3 weeks now. 2 full weeks.
Two for that one, yeah. So the lime pickle are on week 2 of 3.
Okay.
So we are going to finish off our lime pickle today.
Great.
And then we have our preserved lemon. But yeah, so it's very exciting to get to try our ginger. I've like been just like standing looking at it this week going, you think I could just try it? I just really want to try it.
I know. Have you been smelling it? Like every time you've been releasing, I just put my nose right there and I'm like, oh my gosh. Oh my God.
That ginger and yeast. Yeah, it's very, very exciting. And then I did more of the toasted sugar. So my second bottling, I used and it is a little bit darker, but really the color difference isn't huge.
Interesting.
So I did put the toasted sugar into the what do you call it? My plant,
Your
my
mix.
my feed mix, which made it a much more appealing color than when I did it with white sugar last time, and it looked kind of green.
Sure.
So now it's a bit more brown and yellowy. It's not green, yellowy green. It's like a much nicer color.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not as good. For our cocktail, which we are doing a ginger fizz, we're using gin. So it's technically a ginger gin fizz.
Ginger fizz.
Ginger fizz. Unnecessarily loud and excited.
But we do have to remind people one of Gretchen's cats is named Ginger also. So this is like a big word for us.
Which, yeah, I came across a memory on Facebook this week of her, like when I first brought her home, when I first adopted her in Gilligan, and she's just a little thing.
A little
and
thing.
Like, and I used to call her a spicy peanut, and I had forgotten about that.
Oh,
she was little. She was a spicy peanut. So,
spicy little ginger peanut.
I'm not a crazy person at all.
No, not at all.
I realize I do not have a muddler, so I'm going to be using one of my rolling pins.
Nice.
It's going to be far too large and a bit ridiculous, but this is nothing new for me. I'm used to using whatever tools I can kind of find.
That's true. I'm curious about this cocktail too. So it has gin, limes, cilantro, and then ginger beer. And I'm just so interested in the cilantro part of this.
Yeah, so I was trying to figure out what they were counting as a sprig. So
Me too.
I went with some like smaller pieces with some stem and stuff attached, since they they wanted the whole brig. And I was like, I don't know, if it was bigger than this, it felt excessive. But
sprig heavy.
Yeah, I was like 3, what I would normally consider a cilantro sprig would be a lot of cilantro in one cocktail. So I'm going mildly conservative on this.
Got it. So it says to muddle 3 cilantro sprigs and 1 slice of lime in a cocktail shaker.
Yeah. Well, and I also couldn't find my cocktail shaker, so I'm using a mason jar.
Ditto on that.
Yeah. I was like, I know I have a cocktail shaker around here, but I don't know where it is. And I don't feel like looking for it. I think mine's as muddled as it's going to get.
With your rolling pin.
My enormous rolling pin. I don't need a muddler. Who needs a stinking muddler?
No way.
Not necessary.
Mm-mm.
We need some crushed ice.
Okay. I don't have crushed ice, but I figured since that gets strained out also, then I'll just use other ice,
Yeah. The main advantage to using crushed ice is it'll melt a little bit more.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
So you'll get a little bit more water content. But all right, so then I'm adding my gin to that. My gin has cannabis infused into it, so we'll see how well I do at the end of this episode. I haven't smoked it either, so I'm gonna smoke out of the lovely water pipe that you brought me, so that I can tell you the story about how I cleaned your water pipe the other day, and the magical new thing that I think everybody needs in their kitchen. So we'll get to that
I'm excited.
Just a minute.
So where did you get this cannabis infused gin?
I made it.
Of course you did.
Yeah. I was like, who do you think you're talking to?
I know. Of course you did.
Does this get strained over ice or no?
No.
Into a glass. No. I may put some ice in mine just because my ginger beer is at room temperature. I didn't put it in the fridge. Or I guess I could pour the ginger beer through some ice. That would chill it down. I'm not hitting this yet. I like that little bit of freshness that the cilantro brings to this equation.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And so this was 1 ounce of gin.
Yes, 1 ounce.
And then we're gonna top with ginger beer. Oh my God, I feel like a bartender.
You are, yeah, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, basically. Thank you.
That's sort of what we're doing here, being our own bartenders, because this is quarantine.
Yeah. So we're finding creative ways to drink at home.
Yeah, can't get cannabis infused cocktails at the bar. All right.
Okay.
I'm going.
Okay.
Opening my ginger beer.
Okay. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. That sound is so fun.
Wow, look at it go. So fizzy. I've noticed though that like as the week has gone on and the ginger beer has fermented more, that the lids were starting to bow up. Like
seriously?
the pressure was building. So I was like, I have to keep like taking the pressure down on it.
Mine there was a little bit of a gap at the top. So it never got too.
I mean, I still had a fair amount at the top of mine too, but like it was just towards like maybe Thursday I noticed that the lid was bowing out. Like,
yeah. So about how much did you pour in, do you think?
Well, I just topped off my glass basically.
Okay. And then garnish with a lime.
And garnish with a lime and a sprig of cilantro up in the top there.
And a sprig of cilantro. Okay, I got to take a picture. I keep forgetting to take pictures. As we go.
Oh my god. That's amazing.
Oh, seriously?
Oh, it's so good.
Is it sweet enough?
I wouldn't want mine to be any sweeter, really.
Oh my god, you're right. Oh my god, that's amazing.
I mean, it could be like it would be fine if it was a hair sweeter, but I really wouldn't want it much sweeter than that. So
it'd be hard to come back to it
if
it were sweeter. It's so refreshing, you're right. And the cilantro is really subtle.
Yeah. Like it just adds a nice, like it just gives it a little brightness, you know, like I guess it's a good thing that I'm not one of those people that hate cilantro.
Right. If this were parsley, we'd be having a totally different conversation.
We would be having well, I feel like we wouldn't have gone for a parsley cocktail.
Right.
In fact, if I'm gonna just torture you with parsley and be like, you will love parsley.
We'll put it in everything.
Yeah, but I also don't think this really needs, like, mine is very spicy, so like I don't think it needs that jalapeno that it was, was part of the recipe. Oh my god,
I could see how it would work though. I could see how just a little heat in the back of your throat might be kind of fun with this. But
well, I mean, I think I would probably maybe put like one slice of jalapeno in there just to like give it a little bit of something, but like I don't really want it to be a flavor in there necessarily.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So that's I fucking love that shit.
Okay, I think that's a wrap on all the next steps for our preserves. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time for more High Gluttony.
See you next time.